Hey everyone, I wanted to show you what I'm currently using as my art journaling. If you're not familiar with art journaling, it's just a collection of some random little drawings and paintings. It's a great opportunity to try out different techniques, and I also use it as an opportunity to journal. Some people don't do as much journaling on theirs, but this is kind of like a diary for me. I share struggles, joys, all sorts of things. So what I did, I used my Zutter Bind It All, and I just bound a bunch of random pieces together. These are some file folders that I'm using for the cover. They're very small. This is not the normal file folder size. This is very small. It's about 5.5 inches wide. These were my grandmother's, I believe, and I think we found these when we were cleaning out stuff, and I thought, well, these are the coolest, so I'm going to keep them. So I took the front, and I painted over it. I used crackle paint. I used paint markers, and I just did a lot of doodling. I took a B, E, a period, and a heart, and I glued those down before I did any painting so that they flow with the doodling. I didn't want those to stand out too much. So I just kind of played around with this, and unfortunately in the video you really can't see the crackle, but there is some crackling along the edge and it's very faint. And I wanted to show you the inside. Now I haven't decorated this side of the cover yet, but I took watercolor pages. This was from a full-size watercolor journal, like if you go to Michael's and you get the larger pads. This was one that I had originally started working it, and I realized it was just way too big. So I took each page, I tore it out, and I cut it down to size. So I will have some pages in here, like this one. I was trying out some Tisha Moore techniques. Of course, mine don't look as good as hers, but I was just playing around, and it was just too large of a page. So I cut this page up, and that's not a big deal because I'm going to go in and probably paint over parts of it and journal. So that's totally okay with me. So in between each watercolor page, I took smaller pages like scrap cardstock or pattern paper, like for instance, this is from Cosmo Cricket. I believe it's the Girl Friday collection. I just loved this print, and of course I didn't use it all, so I thought, why not go in my art journal? And I also use like making memory little, love these die cut edges, and this also was a little piece that I got from DB Campos. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name right, but she has some wonderful supplies on Etsy, and when I bought some twine from her, she sent some little goodies. So I love that edge there, and I thought, I could have used this on a scrapbook page or something else, but why not in the journal? I'm just going to go through and show you the setup so you can kind of see what different papers I used. This was a scrap piece of paper. I stamped Enjoy on it. This is a Heidi Swap stamp that I'm not sure you can get this anymore since they're not making her supplies. Some shipping tags. I love this bright color. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on that yet. This is actually an ad from Studio Calico. I used to subscribe to their kits, and what I love when they send these little ads is that one side would have the ad, but the other side would have this gorgeous print. Like this was one of their pattern papers they released with one of the kits. So I can always paint over this, not a big deal. I just love this print, so of course I included that. This is actually a finished journal page that I'll show you later. And of course the great thing is I've painted this side, but I still have a whole side I can work on. Some packaging, so love that print. Chipboard pieces, little miniature file folder, and you can see that I actually was going to use this in something else. I had punched some holes, but no big deal. More journaling, and you'll notice sometimes when I'm thumbing through my journaling that I'll have scribbling on the side. If I'm working and I want to test out a marker color, I just do it right there on a scrap paper in the journal because I'm most likely going to paint over this, so it's not a big deal to me. More packaging. Actually, this is another ad from Studio Calico. A little mini tag. I just thought it was really cute, and I love the size of it. This is some scrap watercolor paper that I just tore, and I love that torn edge, so I can't wait to do something with that. Index cards. This is a torn one. Jenny Bolin die cuts. I love using die cuts in this, and it's barely in there, but it's fine. This is an old Heidi Swap folder I had in my stash, and what I love about this art journal, this format, is that I could use up my stash. Stuff that's not in stock anymore, but that's okay. Use those scraps. This was an old page. I'm going to probably paint over it. Some more tags, packaging, Cosmo Cricket journaling. And see, the great thing about this is that I may not paint over this. I just may add my journaling. A paper bag that I cut in half. So this is the top part, and I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with that. Another file folder. This was an old envelope. It says Rickman's Jewelry and Loan Company. I don't know how old this is, but I just thought it was kind of neat. And the great thing is, because it's an envelope, I could tuck a little cardstock or index card or something in there with some hidden journaling. And there's that other piece of that bag, and I did staple it so it would remain shut, and then I die cut it using a Fisker's border punch. This is effervescent. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Journaling ticket, more scrap paper, another index card. This was one from the dollar bin. It's a card that I got at Michael's in their little dollar bin section, so I thought I just like the size of it. This is a Bible study scripture verse. More watercolor paper that's torn. Index cards, more scrap paper. A white shipping tag, and then this was a piece of scrap paper that I had run through my Quick Cuts Epic with I think this is a Cutterbug. I think it's Cutterbug, yeah. A Cutterbug embossing folder, and I never used it, so I thought, why not? Let's throw it in there. That'll be really interesting. I can't wait to play with that page. And then there's my end cover. So I just wanted to show you what my art journal looks like, just to encourage you that you don't have to go out and buy a special journal. You can pull it together. You can use binder clips. You can use not jump rings, but the binder rings. I happen to have a Zetter Bind It All, which I love, so I just used that. I just went through, punched it, put it all together, and this is a 1/2-inch ring. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it encourages you to get out your journal and get your hands dirty and try out new techniques. Anyway, thanks for watching.